Okay, so here's an email account that I use to subscribe to a lot of different stuff. As you can see, I got, 154,000 emails in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a real quick test. And you don't even have to do this for yourself, okay? But a lot of people are doing it, and so we want to show you exactly what to expect, okay? What we'll do is we'll click test, and then we'll go ahead and click all messages, and we'll type in my email address that we want this to get sent to. Now in the ad tracking field, you want to type in, if you're going to do this yourself, again, you don't have to, you want to type in your AFCOM user ID, okay? And now for most of you, your AFCOM user ID is going to be the receipt number that you actually opted in, or that you of your very first purchase, okay? So for me, my account was set up from the beginning just with a username that I made up, because that's what we were, that's how we set this up to begin with when we were manually creating accounts. But your account will actually be set up with let's type in some random stuff, create link. Your user ID is this little thing right here. It's what shows up directly before afcomlink.com, okay? So it's http:/your username. Now your username is what you'd want to use when you go in and you test this, okay? So in my case, I'll type in media dealer. Go ahead and hit send test. Now, if we go into my inbox, in just a few moments here, we should see a bunch of messages come through, okay? So, now it says me because what's going on there is I've typed in, again, in the list settings, I've typed in my Corey.swipe email address, and I'm doing a test to my Corey.swipe email address, so Gmail just automatically says me. But normally what will show up here is the name that you chose right here, your from name, okay? So we'll go ahead and test this out. First of all, we'll open up this whole copy, paste, make money email, and as you can see, it passes in my name into the first, or into the message, right? Now if we mouse over this, and I know this is really small, you can't really see it, but down here at the bottom, if you mouse over this link, you'll see that it's passing my media dealer username into the link just the way it's supposed to. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and click on this, okay? And as you can see, this drops us right on the copypastetraffic.afcom.com page, okay? And then if we mouse over let's see if I can just zoom in a little bit here. Well, I can zoom in, but that doesn't make that any bigger down there. Okay, so if you can see down there in the corner of the browser, it actually has my email address hard-coded into the button, which is what we were talking about earlier. If we click on Add to Cart and we scroll down and look at the affiliate ID, you can see my affiliate ID is in there, and then we have this little tracking ID, FU, and then Thursday. That stands for Follow Up Thursday. So the reason why we did this was so that you can see in your ClickBank account which follow-up messages on which day is producing sales for you. So again, this is all stuff that normally you'd have to set up manually. It's kind of hard to understand how to do all this sort of stuff. We've done it all for you. We've spent quite a bit of time getting this whole thing set up in a way where as much of it is tracked as possible, and you literally don't have to do anything beyond setting up your Aweber account and then going in driving traffic, okay? So the other thing that we're noticing is people are asking, okay, what about the free gift download thing? And what's going on with this is when you do a test, it's not going to work. It's never going to work when you do a test, okay? And the reason for that is because this little test link here, or I'm sorry, this little link here that delivers the freebie, if we go into follow-up, I'll show you exactly what's going on. It runs on a special variable, a special personalization tag in Aweber called the add URL tag, okay? Now, what the add URL tag does is it takes a note of the page that your subscriber opted in from, okay? And what it does is it passes that information back into the message. So in order to really effectively test this, if you really want to see it all working for yourself before you get a campaign started, which again, you don't really have to, but we're noticing a lot of people do want to test it and make sure it's working, which we can understand. To test that, what you can do is you can go in and create yourself a campaign in the system, a gift campaign, I should say, bonus campaign, and you can opt yourself in. So here we go. We'll go into bonus campaigns. We'll click on this very first report here, commission system, and we'll go ahead and type in a tracking ID. And again, you cannot use the same tracking ID more than once in the system. So what we'll do is we'll do 0721 test 3. That should work just fine. Then what we'll do is we'll hit create link. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and let me first double check and make sure I have the right settings in here. So go into settings. We've got the right list ID or the right list. That really should say form ID, not list ID, so we'll make sure to change that. So we've got the right form ID and the right list name, okay? Then what we'll do, close that bad boy, close that. And let's see, where did I end up? Okay, here we are. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and click on that. And here we are in the squeeze page. And we'll go ahead and opt ourselves in. Get instant access. And then as you can see, what it does is it has a little message up here at the top saying, you know, thanks, your free gift has been sent to, or has been emailed to you. I believe it might need to take a quick look and see. It should say your email address there, but basically the gist there is that it's telling you your gift has been emailed to you, right? Then it shows you an offer. And the reason why we do that, of course, is because we want you to make as much money as you can. And it's really your thank you page, or the page people see after they opt in, is really one of the most valuable places. It's one of the most, you know, it's really where you make a lot of your money. It's right after somebody opts in. So again, we'll minimize this. We'll jump back into our email here. And here we go. This is the live message, right, that came from the follow-up series. And as you can see, and I know this is kind of faint, but at the very bottom, you've got an actual working link. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And there it goes. It actually delivers you to a special thank you page that is personalized with your name, and it shows, and it gives you a link directly to the report that they just opted into, okay? So the whole system works whether you test it or not. If you want to test it, again, that's the way you'll do it, by going in and actually opting into your list live. And you can see right there, plain as day, this bad boy works, and it works every time. It's pretty beautiful. Do we want to add anything into this before we move on, Winter?
No, I think anyways, no, man, you really covered it all, and a couple people felt like, we covered a lot of this in the video. So, guys, we're just kind of going off the live feedback here of what the general group needs. In the future webinars, we're going to cover a lot more, in-depth and some more complex stuff as far as what we do, and more hands-on coaching directly. This is just kind of as the first one, just to make sure everyone's on the same page with the system. So again, I apologize if a couple of you feel like this is a little too much, but we just want to make sure everyone gets to the same spot. So that's all I have to add, man.
Cool. All right. So I see someone's asking there, what about the last 3 points? So throughout that entire spiel, we showed you a couple different times we went in and we made up tracking IDs. And again, if you're just getting these going just for your own reference, just so you can poke around, this can be named anything you want. You can type in just gibberish if you want. It really doesn't even matter. But when you're actually creating a tracking ID for a live campaign, again, you want to abbreviate the traffic source that it's coming from, the date, and optionally the product that's being promoted. And the reason why is because if we go into the tracking section, I'm going to answer another question that we've gotten at least 100 support requests on. This clickable tracking URL down here, the way our tracking, the system that we integrated to get the tracking going, it puts this here, and we really wish that we could get rid of it, okay, to be frank, but this link right here is never going to work. It's going to redirect you to this, okay? And now this is not even a real tracking link. As you can see, this isn't associated with any tracking IDs at all. So in order to actually look at your past tracking IDs and actually see a proper clickable tracking URL from your past campaigns that you've generated, you need to click on the drop-down arrow. You need to click one of these past campaigns here, okay, one of these past, what the system calls a sub-campaign. Now, if we click on any one of these and then click View Summary, then you'll actually see right here the proper clickable tracking URL, okay? So I hope that clears up a couple things, and I imagine we'll probably edit that little snippet out of this video and put it up in our main members area so that hopefully we don't get any more questions about that, because it's just one of those things that you can pretty much just disregard, okay? So when you first get here to the tracking section, right? This little tracking campaign, tracking URL, really all this stuff you can basically disregard. The main meat of the tracking is this grid right here. This shows you your daily traffic that you've sent through the system, okay? And then the sub-campaigns, these are the campaigns that you've run in the past. And these are, if you click on View Summary, this will show you exactly how many clicks and all that sort of stuff that you've sent through. So that is that. We've covered the 3-step setup, and now how to go in and pick out a traffic provider. So here's a situation with going and picking out somebody to send you your first little blast of traffic. I mean, we could sit here and talk about all these different people. Really what you want to do is you want to just kind of go through, install Skype first of all, because a lot of these folks operate on Skype, and you can just start adding them as contacts that we've gotten all of their permission to add them, or for you to add them as contacts. But the trick is, sometimes they're around, sometimes they're not around. These people have lives as well. Also, really it's best to just, go in, add them as a contact, build a little bit of rapport, say, hey, I'm looking for solo ads. What they'll usually do is give you a quick quote of what their rates are and stuff like that. Some of them, like Mark Gurney here, he's got a special site dedicated to solo ads. shows you his different prices, and you can actually go in and you can buy right then and there. I wouldn't particularly, recommend that you just buy blindly right away, because, you're not going to necessarily know exactly when your ad is going to go out. You might want to just, talk to them a little bit. It's real. These are all people that we've worked with in the past and that we would consider friends. Okay, so what we really don't want is we don't want you to go on there and start like, I don't know. We don't want you to like bombard them or anything like that. But really, what we want is for you to go in and just establish a little bit of rapport. Sort of be friendly with them and stuff like that, and just ask when their next solo ad slot is available. You can just go in and say, hey, when's your next opening for a solo? And they usually all run calendars, and they'll tell you when the next time they can send out for you is, and then at that point you can send them payment if you want, and at that point send them what they need, which we'll cover here in just a second. Send them what they need, which is a link, generally speaking, and a email swipe, and you just kind of go from there. So Vince is a really nice guy. He is the first on our list, so he's gotten a lot of people contacting him. So if you were to contact him, he might not have an opening for a little while. Holly is also a very close friend of ours. She's actually someone I helped out getting going and has done very well for herself. You can hit her up; she's quite helpful. And Craig and Gary and Craig, these guys, they're really nice. They prefer, generally speaking, to send to gift-style campaigns. And I know our little slide dealie here is sort of cutting off some of these details, so we'll make sure to go in and look at that and why that's happening. Fun little details to work out. Then Jesse Regan, he actually doesn't sell that many solos, but he does sell them from time to time. So he's also someone who does a lot of affiliate promotions and hits a lot of leaderboards. So, he's someone you might want to contact after you've already run a few solos and you're familiar with the process. He may not be quite as helpful as, some of these other folks that are more, I guess, newbie friendly, so to speak, okay? Andrea Smith-Fulton, very nice girl. We didn't help her get started. She got started on her own, but she is also quite helpful. And then Jason, I'm not really sure how to pronounce his last name. I don't want to butcher it, but he's also another very good solo ad seller. Highly recommended, okay? As all of the solo ad sellers really are. Pretty much what it comes down to is when it comes to how to pick somebody out, you really just need to find somebody that will, I guess, work within your budget and who will, who can answer, I guess, your questions, like the system really was designed from the beginning to be more of a tool than like a complete training program. And as we go through and develop it and, get customer feedback, we realize that we do need to have some more training in there. So I see someone asking, how do I contact a traffic provider if I don't have Skype? The answer to that is you really want to go and get Skype because most of them operate on Skype. Some of them have, gave permission to post their email addresses. Some of them have their own solo ad web pages. But again, Skype is going to be an invaluable resource for you, not only to connect with solo ad sellers, but also to network with other marketers and to run what we call our mirror method campaigns, okay? As you get going, Skype is going to be an invaluable tool for you to meet other people and really start seeing success. So, again, there's really no hard and fast way to pick out a traffic provider.